Blessings, greetings, and salutations. How's everybody doing tonight? Uh, Listen, as you come in, we're gonna get some people on here, but as you come in, please feel free to share the video, invite some folk to come listen. This one is for the single folks. All right, this one is for the single folks. Let me put that away. Can't let y'all see what I'm drinking. It's water. Don't worry about it. Yeah, this one is for the single folks. Tonight, a couple nights ago, we were talking about aggression or aggressive women and why it's the positive side of an aggressive woman and the negative side of an aggressive woman. Let me see if we get some folks out here. So as you, like I said, as you come in, say what's up, show some love and such. Tonight, like I said, so we talked about the positive side and the negative side of aggressive women, when it is appropriate, when it is beneficial, and when it is destructive. So we gotta, but tonight, let me see here. But tonight what we want to talk about is the men. Y'all know I give y'all ladies a hard time, and it's just really because I just know the power that you ladies carry and how much you are able to actually affect the kind of man that you have, or the man that you have in your life. So, a lot of times it seems as though I'm being very harsh as far as women are concerned. Not necessarily harsh, but critical as far as women are concerned. But like I said, it's only because I know how much power you carry. You women run the world, if you really want to be honest about it. And so with great power comes great responsibility. And so therefore, because you have such a great responsibility, then, I feel like it's more beneficial to talk to you than to talk to the fellas. But tonight we're going to fix these fellas. Now, hey, Antoinette, how you doing? Let me know if you want to come on and say something. But tonight we're gonna fix these fellas. We're gonna fix them because you know what? Everybody talks to the women. Steve Harvey done told y'all to act like a woman and think like a man. The Kevin Samuels, he tells y'all that y'all have to be a certain, all the people, all the books have been written to tell women basically how to change, how to be different, how to do something different, how to act different, walk different, talk different, dress different. And not much is said to the men. Men are not being told that they got to do better, that they got to walk different, that they got to talk different, that they got to act different, that they have to treat women different. So we want to talk about that tonight, just for a little bit. And like I said, as you come on, share the video. Let's get some folk on here. Let's really talk about it. Tag some of your friends, families, neighbors, whoever you got. All right. Okay. So, like I said, women are being spoken to on a regular basis on how to be different in order to attract a mate. Men, on the other hand, are not being told very often what they need to do in order to attract a mate as well. And so there are sometimes where y'all ladies, y'all get frustrated. You can let me know if you experience that or not. But sometimes you ladies, you get frustrated with being told what to do and not hearing men being spoken to. Well, here's the thing. There's a reason for that. There is really a reason for that. Men, as we grow up, we are taught to be a certain way, whether it be by society, by the people around us, by our very nature. It is our nature to become or do what is necessary to attract a female, to find a female. He that finds a wife finds a good thing. So we're told that we got to find you. Now, if you are going to fish, you have to have the correct bait, right? If you are fishing, you have to have the correct bait. And the bait is not based on what the fisherman decides he wants to bring, but the bait is based on what's going to catch the fish. I'll say it again. The bait is not contingent upon what the fisherman wants or feels like he should bring, but a bait is going to be determined by the kind of fish he's trying to catch, what the fish will respond to. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the reason why a lot of men are not spoken to in this scenario is because a lot of times we have women who are willing pretty much just to take whatever bait is brought. Whatever bait is brought is good enough to catch the fish. Whatever bait is brought is good enough to catch the women. So therefore, if it's good enough, then why would we need to make a big change? All right, hold on. My brother wants to come on here. Let me see. Suzette says no. Mr. Davis.
Mr. Walters.
How are you doing, sir?
Quite well.
Okay, beautiful. So tonight we trying to find out why is it that men don't ever get spoken to when it comes to these relationship gurus, the book writers. Why are there no real books written towards men? And what I was explaining was that when you're trying to fish, you bring the bait that's going to catch the fish you're trying to catch. But now, if you are, if the fish responds to a certain bait, then that's what you're gonna keep bringing. You're not gonna change the bait or improve the bait if every time you bring that bait, you catch something.
I think for lack of a better word, a lack of a better phrase, I'm sorry. Men ain't nothing. I'm gonna say it like that. Men ain't nothing. And and I think women gravitate to ain't nothing men. I think men don't have to change. See, women, they don't have the perception. Most women don't. Well, they know, but they don't know.
Okay.
Women are the most sought after prize.
Yes.
But the most sought after prize to women is stability. Their idea of stability is them with a man.
Mm-hmm.
And now settle for a man who they just want to be loyal. Mm-hmm. That's not even the bare minimum. That's like the prize. A loyal man. And he could be ain't nothing, ain't nothing. Mm-hmm. But if he thinks he may be loyal, that's the man she wants. And even if they go into a relationship, she finds out he's not loyal, if he could somewhat provide, if she has the idea, not saying he could provide, if she has the idea that he may provide, she wants that stability. Mm-hmm. To stability. Or if he can't do that, if he can consistently satisfy her, that stability, they hold on to that. And all that. Go ahead.
You're a young man. You're doing well for yourself.
I do all right.
You do all right, and you have decided to. You married the young lady that you married a young lady. So right. Young man Did you even cross 30 yet?
I'm past it.
Little bit. But
Go see
sub
couple of
35.
mango seeds.
Sub 35. You make decent money. Uh,
I dabble. I dabble.
you got married, right?
Mhm.
Let me ask you, how much preparation were you given as to what it would take to be a married man?
None.
Say again?
None. Absolutely zero.
Now let me know, what was the criteria that you had to meet in order to become a married man?
Oh man. Oh, what? Mm, mm. It's different.
Mhm.
It's it's a little bit. It's a little bit. It's a little bit. It's a little bit different. Um, to be a married man for me, I had to meet criteria for myself.
Mhm.
It had nothing to do with what my wife wanted of me.
Mhm. That's
So
that is. Say that one more time. I don't think the ladies in the back heard you. Say it one more time.
the whole thing of me wanting to marry, that when I was ready to say, when I was ready to jump the broom or go to the courthouse or wherever, and when I was ready, I was ready. Like it was no, there was no criteria I had to meet other than my own. I had to be able to provide. I had to be. I was in love. I was in a love. I was in a state where I felt like I couldn't be shooken.
Mm.
Um, I had to be able to live the lifestyle that I wanted to live while being married. So it was a couple of things just for me. It had nothing to do with her.
So there were
Um,
personal things that you had to meet within yourself before you were ready to move. Now,
yeah,
things that you had to meet within yourself. I need you to be very, very clear. How many of those things were because your wife to be needed that of you?
all of them. Not that she needed. Okay, so not that she needed me to be this.
Mhm.
I need to be this in order for us to be what we are.
It was a personal internal thing.
It was an internal thing, but how do you say it? Like okay, she don't necessarily need me, but in order for me, my idea of the lifestyle that she wanted, I needed to be this.
So because you were in love with her,
Exactly.
you wanted to become a better man for her, even
For her,
though that was not necessarily a requirement.
it wasn't a requirement. So a lot of people talk about, the table, who brings what, how it matches up. It none of that. So I mean, women always trying to find this equality. It's not equal. Y'all gotta understand, it doesn't work the same. It doesn't work the same way. What I do and what I need from you is going to be totally separate from what you do and what you need from me. We're not on the same level. There is a double standard. And just I'm not saying like women are inferior. I'm saying for a man to come to a point where he wants to be a good husband, a good man, it's all things that we have to handle within ourselves. Like I had to come to terms with who I was. Like this is me. I had to figure out, and I had to fight my own battle because I was insecure, not necessarily to the point where I'm like, I can't walk out there and get another woman or anything like that. I was insecure in the fact that I couldn't provide the way I wanted to. I couldn't have a child and be able to give that child the world. I couldn't, it was a lot of things I had to like, why is this me? when can I be to a point where can I when will it be that I'm at a point where I can do the things I want, provide the way I want, and love the woman I want without having any demons inside myself about her?
I think that that's one of the things that a lot of women don't realize, and they take it personal. It's not that, and that's the thing, ladies. You talk about fixing men. You cannot fix them. You can't
See,
fix them. They can be told a lot of different things because, you know what I mean. Like I said, as you grow through life, you run into different kinds of dudes. You run into some dudes that tell you to get married. You run into some dudes that tell you never to get married. There's a lot of different information that is coming at us, and unless you have a strong male voice that is going to help to shape who you are as a man, like it's really something that it takes time for us sometimes to really get our mindset together in order to be the kind of man that we feel is qualified to have you, because the woman you want to marry is not on the same level as the woman you want to kick it with. Those are two different individuals and require two different and bring out two different things in the men that's around them, right? The only man, we thank Brother Darren for his time. The only man that you can affect in a real positive manner is the man that is genuinely interested in being with you, marrying you, um, spending his life with you. You say Bridgeton taught me that we can fix men. That's that's a movie. You can't fix them because, like I said, it's not something where we don't have. Um, there's not a lot of requirements for us to get into relationships. Women don't really have a lot of requirements as far as the men that they're trying to get. Usually, as Darren said, if there is a an ability to provide, or as Antoinette said, if there's an ability to lay pipe, that's generally enough. That's, unfortunately, that's generally enough. And another major issue that you're going to run into, ladies, especially ladies in church, another issue that you're going to really run into is that we forget that most of these men that are in church and just in the black community, period, most of these men are raised by women.
women.
And not only are they raised by women, but they're raised by single women who don't, who are in a lot of cases, it's only sideways. But in a lot
Crazy.
of cases are you know, sorry to say, bitter. So when you have this bitter woman trying to raise a with her bitterness and her aggression, then what is produced from that is a bunch of ain't nothing men. So every now and then you have a situation where you run into a positive male figure, right? And that positive male figure can help to influence your life in a lot of positive ways as well. It has to be somebody that you respect, right? Um, but it's a lot of times those individuals are telling you not to get married. They're telling you to do the bare minimum. And here's the thing, like I said, the bare minimum for a lot of you ladies, unfortunately, is acceptable. It's like there's two spectrums. Either the bare minimum is acceptable, or you become kind of delusional in what it is that you want, right? And so we have to understand that uh, Let me read some comments. Okay. Anthony said, I'm sure she had requirements. Yeah, but that's the thing, though. The requirements for himself was so much greater than her requirements for him. He changed because he loved her. Yeah, yeah, that is a motivating factor. God's not going to change just because you want him to change or you think he should change. If he loves the woman that he wants to be here for the rest of his life, he's going to make some kind of moves. He's going to make improvements. Somebody asked me the last time, the last live, how do you know when the guy is serious? You know when the guy is serious when he's making moves. Hey, Georgette, thank you for joining us. You know, guys
My,
making moves. If he's doing the same old thing that he usually does, then he ain't really serious. I don't care what he says. But
the thing is, why are you looking? Why are they looking for a guy to be serious?
they be serious.
I don't like. That's not
Marrying.
a real. You say what?
I mean, serious about marrying them.
That's what I'm saying. But that's I don't know. Like you can't build. You can't go into. You can, but I feel like it's crazy to go into a relationship and say, I'm going into the relationship because I think this guy is serious about marrying me. Like, but why would he be? What have y'all established in the time frame of you coming to that realization that this guy should be serious about marrying you, for you to have that this guy should be serious about, like, where do y'all, and it's crazy to me that they come into the relationship seeing that I'm serious. I'm not dating for just a date. I'm dating because I want to get married. I want to have kids. Like, whoa,
Listen, y'all need a date just a date.
just a date.
I'm not saying, and see, that's the thing. The problem is that when you say date just to date, the thought process comes in, oh, do I sleep with everybody? No, 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 no. You keep your treasure locked up. But you
Definitely.
need experience with different men and to understand that all men are not, all men are not dogs. You know what I mean? Men have different motivations for different things. Just because the men that you're around ain't,
Mm,
it don't mean that there's not a brother out there that's trying to do something with his life, and it may not be right now. And Antoinette, you're right. That's not what is taught in church. But they need to change that. They need to take dating out of the 2 to 3,000 year old Bible. Take dating out of that and bring it into today. Let's take dating out of a Middle Eastern culture and bring it into a Western culture. Because you see, back in the 50s, they had it right. You know what they would do in the 50s, Darren?
what would they do?
Was that Sally would go out with James this week. And then next week, Biff knew he had to ask her first so he could get to go out with her next week. And then after that, little Jimmy, he had to bring her some flowers or something, be like, hey, let's go out this week. And they would go to the sock hop. And sock hop with Jimmy this week, sock hop with Biff next week, and sock hop with James the other week after that. Now, what happened after she has sock hopped with a few individuals, then one of them would give her their jacket.
Right.
And when that one that she chose, why? Because she had options. See, the problem with a lot of church women, especially, not just church women, period, y'all don't have no options.
I ain't got no.
Y'all
Y'all,
one guy and give your all to this one dude, and so therefore that's why the requirements are so low, because you're trying to fit this one guy into your situation. So the values and the morals and the requirements that you have now get whittled away because you're trying to fit this one guy into your situation. I know that it's popular to say, oh, date with a purpose. Date with a purpose, however, does not mean date one guy. Men just don't want to date you. They all want to get laid. Sure.
definitely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. But
And the sooner you accept that, it's going to be better for you. Yes, we all want to have sex, but that doesn't mean there's no value, that we don't value you. The fact that we want you is puts you at value.
And don't forget, ladies, you control the sex.
Can't do it without you.
You control that whole situation. See, men control the relationship or getting into a relationship, but you control the activities thereof.
That's true.
And so the thing about, because here's the thing, I tell this to ladies all the time, Darren, I'm glad you're on so you could let me know. If I don't like you, but you fine, I don't like you, I have no intentions to marry you, I can't even stand talking to you for a long time, I can still have sex with you and not like you, not have no intentions to be around you, not even like hear the sound of your voice, still have some good sex on multiple occasions, and still can't stand you. And I can love you, be in love with you, have sex or not have sex. It won't change whether I'm in love with you or not.
That's true.
Y'all got to understand that. You got to understand. And so it's not, the thought process is that men are broken. I wouldn't go as far. There are a lot of broken men. Sure. There are a lot of broken men, but I think more so it's the simplicity of the male individual that's whooping y'all behind. We men are simple, and you carry so much weight into what happens as far as what activities happen when you date multiple dudes. You know what I mean? Like I said, don't be loose, because dudes talk. At the end of the day,
You a lot I hear a statement a lot like I don't want to give all myself. I don't want to give all of myself to a man until I know he's serious, until I know he's real. If I think that's like a common mistake women like to do. They want to put up these walls until they get to know this man, or they want to put up these walls. I want to hide some parts of myself until we get into the relationship. If you hide parts of yourself, if you don't give your all when you're exploring what you want to be or what you want this thing to turn into, when you start to give yourself, like give all of it, or you're a different person.
it is different.
It's totally different. Like, I don't know you. This part of you didn't introduce to me until months down the line, and it's something I don't like. Now I can't stand talking to you. I'm still gonna smash, but I can't stand talking to you. I'm going out with my friends more because I don't want to be around you. I'm talking to other women because you aggravate me. It's something about you that changed. So now I'm trying to get what I need from somewhere else, and then I'm eventually end up leaving you. Stop talking to you because you're gonna aggravate me. You're gonna start saying things like, "Oh, why you don't talk to me? Why you don't show me affection?" It's because you didn't show me you when we were there. When we started out, you can't just have a relationship. You gotta build it. When I say build it, like you gotta put the cinder blocks on the ground first. You gotta get the dirt, put the cinder blocks on that, get the foundation right. And that means giving up parts of yourself that make you feel vulnerable in the beginning, and allowing somebody to build with you so you can accept each other's foundation together and come together to make something beautiful. If you wait to give the building blocks of you, you skip the part in building that building, and it's flimsy at that point.
You're not ready to be in a relationship unless you're ready to be vulnerable. I'm preaching good. If you're not ready to be vulnerable, you're not ready to be in a relationship. You really need to go sit on somebody's couch. I got a friend of mine I could recommend, and you have issues that you need to work out. Relationship, any solid relationship, has to be built on a level of vulnerability, and that's one of the ways you can know when a guy is serious about you that he's gonna be vulnerable. Let me read a comment here. We look for the man to be serious because if the woman is serious, we're called aggressive. No, you can be serious and not be aggressive. Those two.
Yeah. If they call you aggressive, it's probably because you're aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah. It ain't because you're serious. It's because you're aggressive.
Nah,
All right. And
you're
next question. Do you guys think men tend to fall in love, just switched a while ago, with the women they don't feel worthy of? Ah, I think we're women we don't feel worthy of. I think,
I don't think worthy comes into play. Does it really? Like
yeah, like what makes you
that's not even like, see, y'all like, we real simple.
one is out of
Y'all deep.
whatever reason?
You say what?
Maybe we think somebody's out of our league for something. That's a young man stuff.
Yeah,
And you that's jitterbug stuff. You get to a certain age, ain't nobody out your league. They just don't know better.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. It's like, y'all, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. What is he thinking about? Is he thinking that I'm too much for him? No. Unless
Yeah.
unless you display that. So if you're in a relationship and you make more money and you have more things and all that stuff,
We don't.
and you constantly hold that over him,
That's
it's not feel inferior, which is aggravating.
that.
Simple.
That's why one of my next conversations we're gonna have is how your degree and your money is keeping you single. And it's not because you have a degree or you have money. Generally, men don't care nothing about those things. That don't matter to us one way or the other. Degree, no degree, you work on Wall Street or you work at Walmart. You know,
Okay.
it's how you treat us. It's how you make us feel. You know what I mean? Your ability to make us feel like men, which you have the ultimate ability to do, because that's what we judge our um, that's what we judge our manliness off, really, is you more than anything else. um Internet, she's the opposite. She gives too much of herself in the beginning. But see, that's the thing though. Internet is like, what are you giving of
Who
yourself that is too much, right?
like who are y'all? Like, what? Y'all, everybody got these sayings, and like, who are you? What is too much of you? Like, what secret you got that's not normal, or that's so bad that if you tell it, no one would accept you? Like, too much of yourself. I know that's like a common saying, but what does that actually mean? What does that actually mean? Like, what is too much of yourself? See, you guys, not you guys, women, stop creating things that are not there. Stop creating your own idea of what you feel a situation should be, shouldn't be, or how it is, or else this happens.
Mm-hmm.
When you just start to go, it's gonna work better for you. Thinking about, oh, I can't do this, or I can't eat this way, or I can't tell him that I like the lights off, or I I can't say it. Whatever the case. That stuff don't. There's no too much of yourself. Be you, and you're gonna find somebody who actually likes
The you.
you.
But here's the thing though, and that's the thing. You have to figure out, ladies and internet. Um, uh, uh, the you that you are you giving the single version of you, or are you giving the potential mate version of you? Because like I talked about last time, a lot of women, like I said, by no fault of their own, they got to operate in this world. They got to, make stuff happen on their own or whatever the case is. So you're now naturally, you come off as aggressive. You come off as aggressive. You come off as, non-submissive. You come off as, a know-it-all. All these things are unattractive to men who are men. Like, if you have a man, then he might like your aggression because that evens out his feminine energy. Your masculine. So
True.
when we say give yourself, I'm talking about giving the entirety of your feminine energy so that that man's masculine energy can respond to that. A lot of times women say, "Oh, I'm too much for him," or "He can't handle me," or whatever. It's because you got a stank attitude, and don't nobody want to deal with that.
No, and they pride
Oh,
themselves on
it's not something
it.
everybody wants to deal with. And like I said, you know what I mean. If you point it in the right direction, have an attitude with the person that's trying to, uh, 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 rob us or something. But don't have an attitude with me. Man, keep that to yourself.
Yeah, that. Stop being okay with. I mean, a lot of women are okay with saying, I get angry, and when I get angry, I need him to calm me down. I need a man that's gonna say, "Hey, sit down." Nah,
I didn't really
sit your-
slap you.
first of all, what type of man you want? Cause I work all day. I tell you that. I work all day. And when I get off work, I'm not finna have an argument with you about me telling you what I need you to do because you want to get mad and have a no, it's not the type of man you want. Listen, men who are out here who are making, above six figures, they work in corporate America or they have their own business. It's like if you want, you got to learn how to sit yourself down. You got to fix whatever's in you. See how I said earlier, in order for me to get married, I had to fix what was in me. I had to fix me in order to be ready to marry her. You have to fix you in order to be in order to be ready to give your full yourself to a man and be okay with that.
It's like
You get that. Go ahead.
yes, you want to give yourself, but you have to understand that there's parts of yourself that really shouldn't be given to anybody, right? And it's not that, like I said, not that we can't deal with it. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure I can yell louder than you. I'm pretty sure I can snatch you. I'm a pretty big guy. I can snatch you and shake you, but I don't want to do that in my house every day with anybody. Bill says, "How can I give all of me when all men want is tiny waist, big butt, light skin? That's the only women I hear that. No, that's the only women men want. That's the one to look at.
That's the insecurity.
That's
That's
big insecurity.
insecurity. That has nothing to do. Men, that's not men at all. We don't
Yeah,
care.
Gil, if that was the case, then every insta hoe would be married.
Everyone, and I seldom it doesn't stop it. That's an stop. Whatever
Right now,
men want.
Lamborghini drives down the street, I'm gonna look at it all the way. I have sped up my car to go look at that Lamborghini, but I would never in life buy one because it doesn't fit me.
It don't fit. Can't get in. Won't be
Men don't.
comfortable.
It's not about. It's listen. There's some men who you got your high profile men who are in the public eye who are around certain types of people. Yes, they want arm candy, and so sometimes the big butt is a hindrance. Ain't a lot of big butt women in the Millionaires Club. It's really not. There's more skinny, petite type women in the Millionaires Club, whatever the case is. But when it comes to a real dude, just a regular guy that's here, making it, doing his thing, that's not. It's. I don't know if you ever looked at like men's wives. How many wives got the skinny waist and the big butt and the not a lot of them. And it's not that those women it's not that those women are not they're attractive to look at, but when it comes to who a man wants to marry, he marries who he feels fits where he is and possibly where he's trying to go. Is Google Atkins wanted to date you, would you marry? See, and that's another thing too. The woman
Who?
I'm willing to date versus the woman I'm willing to marry are two completely different women.
See, date for us is totally different. Like, what do you mean? Is this lady fine? Is she something
Yeah,
like
she
when
she
you saying date?
she
Am
she
I just trying to?
she thinking that cold peanut butter.
Oh, then
We
I
date
mean,
all
I go out with her.
we will date all day. We'll
Oh,
go to the
like
beach. We'll go to the movies. We'll go to the park.
They got it.
Maybe
Like,
you can see a
what?
play on Saturday or all of that. But that don't mean I'll marry her.
Nah, she gotta find something. I gotta a note. I have to notice something that makes me believe she has a little bit more substance, that she can make me feel good. It's not. Let me stop with this. I have to notice something that she can make me feel good outside of sex. That's just real. This is real simple.
Every woman has a vagina,
Everyone.
and most of them are very similar.
Yeah, and y'all got to know your vagina ain't the best vagina in the world. It's always, I tell you, new vagina is that vagina I haven't had. That's
That's
the mystery of it is the best vagina ever. Y'all, not the one that I haven't had. The mystery of that vagina is the best. Your vagina ain't it? It's not you. So you got to have something
you guys.
that makes me feel good when we're not having sex.
Yeah, like all men wanted sex. All men wanted sex. No, no. Here's the thing: we want sex, lots of it.
All that. Yep.
Yeah, we want sex, a lot of it. That's the freaky, just circus.
Nah, yeah. Just,
But that's not all we want. And like I said, to date you versus to marry you, two different things. Now, here's the thing: I will say this: a lot of men, and Darren can attest to this, men focus more on teaching men how to get women to have sex with than how to get women to marry.
mm,
But like I said, to find a woman to marry, there's not much criteria to it. Most of the criteria that there is to find a woman to marry is based on our criteria. You get what I'm saying? It's based on us. We have our own criteria as to what kind of man we'd like to be if we're going to get married or whatever the case is. And then and the worst part, the worst thing that could have happened, even in Darren's situation, is that his wife pressure him to get married before he thought of himself as a husband. That's good right there.
that's real as it. That's as real as it get. And I want to say this, y'all. You get a man. It starts off great. The thing we want more than vagina or sex is peace. If you can give us peace in the way we want it, we're married.
Shut up.
Oh, I'm telling. Nah, I don't want to get again. My bad. I didn't want to get. Let's peace. Oh man, stop. Whatever you thinking about doing, stop. If he ain't text back right away, most of the time we doing shit, or we not doing shit, and we don't feel like talking, and that should be okay. No one wants to be. I know what y'all think about what love should be. Nah, no one wants to be around someone 24/7. I love my wife, but sometimes I want to go in the room and play the game because that's my thing. Or I want to sit in a dark room, listen to jazz, and write something because that's my thing. And I need to do that alone. Or sometimes I might invite you in, but you got to be okay to know that sometimes I need me time. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was giving the
Oh
game.
no, I was talking to the ladies. You talking good. I'm translating.
Yeah, he said it. I'm saying seriously. You the be his. If a man don't, if you're dating and he doesn't call you that day, give him that day. And when he calls you back the next day, don't argue with him. Don't talk about how, oh, you couldn't call me out. No, say, hey, it's nice to hear from you. Are you okay? Are you good? What happened yesterday? Oh, that cool, wonderful. How are you doing today?
That's the thing. Hold on, let me stop you right there. See, that's the thing. It's the same. It's the same question. The question is, the bottom line question is, why didn't you call me yesterday? Way number one. Oh, why did you call me yesterday? I was there and all day you didn't call me. And then that's a good way to get good and single
Real quick.
real quick. Here's the way that you just mess his whole mind up. Like, hey, you okay? Yeah, I'm good. Why? Oh, I didn't hear from you yesterday. I thought something may have happened. You sure you okay? Oh, okay. Now he's thinking, okay, she actually cares about me. I remember I was going, I was going to this chick's house, right? I told chick I'd be there at 8:30. 8:30, you know, running late. I stopped to get, some stuff at Walgreens, stopped to get something to drink, whatever the case is. Just so I wouldn't come in empty-handed, like a bottle of wine, whatever the case is. So I'm getting there, and all of a sudden I get a text. Oh, turn around and go home. I was like, okay, no problem. Okay, that's doable because she had a rule about what time folks should come. This that, but so but I asked her. I'm like, so if you know that I said I'm going to be here at a certain time, and I've been before I've set a time and I gave you an explanation, or I was on time before. Don't you think that this time you should at least find out why? So what it told me was that she cared more about her time than my well-being. Because anything could have happened. I could have been in an accident. I could have been on the side of the road somewhere. And that's the thing. And I got that message before there was a call to say, hey, where you at? What you doing? Da 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 da. If you was like, where you at? What you doing? Oh, I'm stopped by such such. You know what? Don't even bother. I could respect that. But to show that you care more about your feelings or whatever's going on with you than the person that you're supposed to be establishing something with, that speaks volume. It does speak volume. Now, Anthony says also a lot of men don't want to get married, but women do.
That's that's not necessarily true. And I'll say this here. Most men don't sit the majority of men. You got very few men that say, in my life, I want to get married, be a great husband. Come in. Um, Most men don't think about it. We don't think about marriage. We don't think about saying I do. We don't think about like it's not the what you got what happens is you want to establish in a relationship without building one, and you want to get married and they're not ready within themselves to make that move, but then you bring the conversation up when there's no actual foundation in your relationship, and we count that as men not wanting to get married. What's up, baby? This grown people's. Y'all all right? Oh, get that lipstick off. I'm sorry, my baby got lipstick on. Get the lipstick off my baby. Lord Jesus. Girl.
It's Anthony. It's not that men don't get married. It's just that a lot of men are not ready to get married. Because here's the thing: the Bible says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." The way women think about it, seek ye first this marriage, and then these be added unto you. How men think about it, seek ye first this money, this
This,
stability, and then all these things will be added unto you. Because if I have a nice house, I got a nice car, I got money in my pocket, I'm wearing some fly shoes and a nice fit, then all these females will be added unto me, guaranteed.
without a shadow of a doubt. Listen. 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 No. Yo, uh, before I gotta go. Wife is in here, kids in here, they crazy.
Mm.
Ladies, if you don't listen to the man, stop listening to women. Women don't know nothing about men. And and before y'all say, oh, why we gotta do all of this to get him, stop that. Stop listening to him. Stop asking questions. Be his peace. Build from the ground up, and I guarantee you it's gonna work. I'll be here tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, if you'll have me.
All right, my brother. I appreciate you coming on because they keep thinking I'm making this stuff up.
Nah, it's as true as it gets. Just what you said. That was. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate you, bro.
Anytime.
All right, as I said, women are usually raised to be wives and mothers. Correct. You're raised to be wives and mothers, but unfortunately, you're not taught how to be wives and mothers. Men in church, I know we know that we are supposed to, be husbands or whatever the case is, but nobody ever tells us what it takes to be a husband. You know what I mean? Nobody ever tells us, and it's just really what it is. So, like I said, I don't think I think our culture on a whole tells us that marriage is the way to go. Women are ways to be wives and so on and so forth. And I think men, for the most part, they know. Ask any child growing up, they kind of know they're supposed to be the husband or whatever the case is. But the thing about it is that everybody, it's just really, what is the prize? What is the prize? I know that they tell women that they are the prize, they are the prize, they are the prize. And in some ways you are. But at the end of the day, just based on the fact that there are so many women who so many women and men outweigh women. I mean, women outweigh men by, I think, at least 4 to 1. There's 4 women for every 1 man, and our culture teaches monogamy or preaches monogamy, or put you to jail if you're not monogamous, whatever the case is. Then you got to understand that there is way more competition on your side than there is on our side. There is. It's just the fact of the matter. So we want to fix men. We want these men that are husband minded. We want these men that are that know, that are not, all about sex. We want these men. That's kind of like trying to tell the sun not to be hot. It's okay. So there's a concept called the path of least resistance. Relationships need to be a certain way. You have to be a certain way in order to have a solid relationship. In the relationship, there's a woman and then there's a man. You have to fix one of them. The path of least resistance and the path that will lead to more successful marriages is going to sound funny, especially coming from a man, but is really to fix the woman. Reason being, because there are things, if you understand yourself as a woman that wants to be in a relationship, not just as a woman, because like I said, understanding yourself as a woman can take on many different viewpoints. It can take on many different looks. Like I said, single mothers are going to operate differently than women without children. Women who are by themselves are going to operate different than women who are in relationships. But if you understand, especially if you are single and you want to be in a relationship, understand yourself as a woman that wants to be in a relationship, then the way that you operate, the way that you interact is going to make you more desirable. And when a man truly desires a woman, he will do what is necessary or what he feels is necessary in order to become a better version of himself, to be I don't like to use the word, but let's go with to be worthy of her. But number one, women, y'all got to have realistic standards. Let me say that. Realistic standards. What do I mean by realistic standards? I mean, you cannot just want a millionaire just because you want a millionaire. You have to ask yourself, what about you above another person is going to make that individual want to be with you? What do you have? And I was watching something today, and this lady, she was on, and she was pretty much asked that question, and she was saying that she was given a scenario that you meet a plumber, and the plumber is, he's been a plumber for 20 years, and he has, he's making decent money. He's a plumber. Would you accept the plumber? And she said, of course I would. Because when the plumber gets with me, then we're going to be investors, and we're going to, and we're going to take the business to a whole nother level, and so on and so forth. And the problem with that is that she's not willing to accept the plumber. She's willing to take on the challenge of changing the plumber. Oh, that's good right there. There's a difference. You have to. Here's the thing: the Bible created women to be a helpmeet unto men. I believe women have the ability to assist in fulfilling a man's destiny. But that's the key word, assist. You can't give him a destiny. When we are dating these men, should we expect monogamy from them if we aren't sleeping with them? No. No, you shouldn't. You really, really shouldn't. If you're not sleeping with that man, and I don't recommend that you go around sleeping with a bunch of dudes, um, but don't expect him to carry the same resolve that you do. And that's the problem. We always expect people to think the way we think and do things the way we do things, or whatever the case is. No, and that's what I'm saying. You have to you date with a purpose, but your purpose has to be to expose yourself enough so that your husband can find you. That's your purpose. So if you are dating and you have taken a stand that you are not going to have sex with this particular individual, please understand that you not having sex with a man does not eliminate the chance of you marrying him, right? It does not eliminate the chance of you marrying him, but don't expect him to have the same thought process that you do when it comes to sexual activity. That's the conversation that needs to be had. Unless, see, here's the thing: we see things happen, and we don't accept the fact that these are exceptions and not the rules. They take a guy like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was a very wealthy man. He picked up a young lady who, number one, had a child. Number two, um, dated a few prominent individuals, so he knows she's been around a little bit. And he still married her, Sierra. He married Sierra with her child, with her friendliness, if you will. Somebody got really upset last time I did live because I think I said coochie. So with her friendliness, and he married her, and now they have a seemingly, of course I don't know the people, so they have a seemingly great relationship. They have a new baby. Things are looking wonderful, whatever the case is. How he did not have sex with her until they were married. That was something that was important to him. And because it was important to him, he decided he was not going to have sex with her, and she acquiesced to that same situation. So they did not have sex until they got married. That is a rare exception. That is a serious, serious exception, right? Um, and that's why it's important to be equally yoked. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I don't know if both of you agreeing not to have no sex is really the definition of being equally yoked. I mean, it's good that y'all are on the same page, whatever the case is. But like I said, I would not expect that. It'd be great if it happened, and if y'all have a conversation regarding sex, and you and him decide that, you know what, we are not going to have sex, that's really something that's really a conversation that needs to be had when the relationship becomes something serious. Not that shouldn't be. I would not recommend that to be a first date question. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't recommend that to be a deal breaker necessarily. Um, I think that is something that when you all decide that you're going to, like in the 50s, when he gives you his jacket and y'all are going steady and he changes his Facebook status to in a relationship, then y'all should have that conversation as to how y'all are going to operate until that particular point of view. See, the thing is, I believe that Russell Wilson, when he started dating Sierra, he started dating her with the intent to marry her. But there's not a lot of Russell Wilsons around the place. I'm sorry, there just isn't. Monica McCoy says some of y'all swear a woman can't date around. Well, here's the thing, Monica. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna keep it 100. Keep it a buck 50 with you. Our ego doesn't really like that. Our ego doesn't really like that. So while I recommend that you date and not just date one individual, but date a few individuals, because and why do I recommend you date a few individuals? Because a lot of us, men and women, we don't have enough experience dealing with the opposite sex to really make good husbands or make good wives. We just don't. We expect, and that's why a lot of times we expect too much from our spouses or from the people we date because we don't have the experience. We haven't dated enough. We haven't seen enough how different people operate. We haven't dealt with different love languages. You know what I mean? So we try to put everybody into our little box of what we think people should be, and that's why, like I said, you end up frustrating yourself, frustrating him, giving up the goods, and then still being alone. So you're saying know myself first, expose myself, date, and be found by a good man. Yeah, basically, you know yourself first, and settle. Figure out what you like, what you don't like, whatever. But date. I Jackie says date so you can collect data. Yeah, date so you can collect data. See how different men operate. See how different men operate. See how you operate in different scenarios. Date different types of men. You know what I mean? Date a blue collar worker. Date a corporate individual. Date a church boy. Date a pastor. Date a musician. Date different kind of people and see where you feel most comfortable, where you really want to be. Can you facilitate that individual? And then once that individual is serious, he will take you off the market. So you date. I wouldn't flaunt it, that you're dating around. And if you are seriously talking to one individual, then seriously talk to that individual, but make sure that you have that selection of that individual comes from you making a what do you call it, an educated decision as to this is who I will allow to find me. Because that's really what it is. You know what I mean? And that's how you become, once again, the prize. The problem is right now, men are the prize. That's just facts. Right now, men are the prize. And that's why, like I said, you know what I mean? Fixing these men, they're doing okay. They're doing okay. They don't need to be fixed. And like I said, you can't fix them. They will, once they have decided that they want to be with you, they will fix themselves. When they are ready to get, a man is not going to want to get married if he can't provide for his family. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So a lot of times you're looking for someone, you know what I mean? And that's why, unfortunately, ladies with children, that's why it's difficult sometimes for you to find a man when you have a child or you have multiple children. That's one of the reasons that makes it so difficult, because a lot of times men, uh, they look at those things as an expense. You think it's about love? You think it's about no, no, no. Them children are expenses. And that's why I said, that's why a lot of times women, your red bottoms are keeping you single. You know why? Because as a single man, when a single man sees red bottoms, he sees an expense. Because there's no way that you are going to present yourself in red bottom shoes, and I now I'm going to, knowing that I cannot afford red bottom shoes, won't really want to pursue that situation. You know what I mean? And that's just really what it is. And once again, yeah, they want you to provide for them because you're willing to. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, like I said, however, I'm not saying that if you wear red bottoms, you can't, you won't be able to date or find a man or whatever the case is. But I'm just trying to get you to understand what certain things say, and what you are communicating. Your red bottoms say you don't need me. Maybe you could have saved up for it for 5 years to buy it, but that says you don't need me. Now, like I said, if you are willing to go on a date and we can have a conversation, then I might be able to learn that, you know what, this is just something that you did to treat yourself. It's not really a requirement in the relationship, whatever the case is. And then we can have that conversation over some drinks or a dinner or whatever the case is. But like I said, there's a lot of things that you think are not a big deal, but men see as a really big deal, because we have to be right within ourselves. But they wear those to attract a certain kind of men. No, they wear those to impress women. Men are not attracted to your red bottoms. The only people that are enamored by your red bottoms are other men, other women. Facts. That's like me getting the latest PlayStation. Hey, what's going on, Barry? That's like me getting the latest PlayStation to attract you, Antoinette. I call you up, be like, "Hey, Antoinette, guess what I got? I got the latest PlayStation." That doesn't impress you, but I could call up Darren and be like, "Yo, D, check it out, man. I got the PS5, bruh. That's gonna be amazing to him. He's gonna get word. Oh man, that's your red bottoms are equivalent to my PS5. It's something that impresses your gender, not mine. And then sometimes we want, like I said, I said in the last broadcast, women nowadays, y'all dress for each other. Y'all don't dress for men no more. Y'all dress for each other. Because the things y'all are wearing, we don't like, we don't really care about. We didn't have a problem with what you had before. You know what I mean? Like I said, the lashes look like you got a moth perched on your eyelid. We don't care nothing about your lashes. Ain't never one dude, Never one dude would be like, yo, you seen that girl's lashes, bro? I ain't never had that conversation with one fella. Never. Like, bruh, her lashes are laid, son. We don't never had that conversation. You know, the only thing I ever heard about men, and I got a personal crusade against lashes, because the only thing I ever heard men say about lashes, like, yo, that's ridiculous. Why she got them long things on her? I've only heard men criticize lashes. I've never heard a dude be like, man, them lashes though. We don't care. We don't even like them. Mascara was fine. When you used to do this, and for whatever reason you got to close one eye and open your mouth to put on the mascara. I don't know what opening the mouth does, but yeah, you got to open your mouth to put on the mascara. Yeah, that we like that. That was fine. I mean, we do without it, but that was fine too. You know what I mean? To be honest, and not to offend anyone, men are the prize nowadays because some are now playing for the same team. Remember, you said for everyone, men is for women. That's a whole nother situation. And see, that's why, and that's why, ladies, y'all need to act right because these dudes out here taking y'all dudes. y'all not, y'all not just competing with women, with other women. There's dudes out here snatching y'all dudes. And and here's the thing, and I know there's a lot of seemingly straight guys that end up in situations with gay men. And honestly, I think the reason why is because it's a simple transaction. I, it's a, I don't I look if you I know some guys that's attracted to men. I don't get it. I For the life of me, I can't see how a dude gonna look at nut like, bruh, you mad sexy, bro. Oh, for real? You think I'm sexy? I don't get it. I don't. It's whatever. But I imagine that it's a simple transaction. Hey, you want to do something? Yeah, let's do something. And that's it. It's over. That's the whole conversation. Ain't no games. Ain't no, oh, I'm saving myself when you're not really saving yourself. Ain't no, I'm holy when you're not really holy. It's funny because, it's funny. The funny part is we talk about these men that, all they want is sex, all they want is sex. And we talk about these church boys that's sleeping around. But these church boys are sleeping around with church girls. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing worse than a fake person. I personally, I know I can't deal with someone who comes in with uh, I, I I can't deal with someone who comes in under false pretense, saying they want this one thing, and then try to switch it into another thing. That's why I left the insurance company that I used to work for. I used to work for this insurance company where we'd call you up and you have children. We say, hey, we want to bring you this child safety kit. And you're like, oh, okay, I want my children to be safe. We have a whole spiel about how we're going to keep your children safe. And we come in and tell you about the child safety kit, which was literally one sheet of paper that you just put down your child's name and phone number on. And then as soon as we're done, we're like, oh, and also you need to get this life insurance. That's what a lot of women do when it comes to relationships. Y'all come in one way and then try to switch it into something else. You come in as the homie and then try to be the wifey. It don't work that way. It really doesn't. I know fairy tales and movies and stuff tell y'all that that's how it works, but it doesn't. As I said, I don't care about that because one is still a feminine energy. Yeah, I mean, but like I said, I don't know what the I don't know what the conversation necessarily is when it comes, from one man to another man. But like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a simple transaction. It really is. So once again, why is nobody trying to fix these men? Why is nobody trying to fix these men? These men have issues. These men ain't nothing. These men are dogs. Why is nobody trying to fit these men? Because these men are operating based on the level that they want to operate right now. And that's just the fact. There is no guy out there, listen to me carefully. There is no guy out there that wants to sleep around that is trying to get married. But there are guys out there that wanted to sleep around and felt pressured and forced to get married. They still sleep around. They just got a ring on their finger when they do it. I promise you, men operate in a little thing called and once again, there's exceptions to every rule. Don't get me wrong. There's exceptions to every rule, and of course, there might be that one guy that loves being married but still wants to sleep around with everybody. Every now and then, you run into that guy. That guy, I can't stand that guy. Like, why get married, bro? Like, oh, you love having a wife at the house or whatever the case is. Still want to sleep around. But most times, if a guy is in his quote unquote hoe phase, um, he's not trying to get married. But here's the thing, and this is the problem. All of you think that when you find that guy in his whole phase, that you are the extra special one that's going to take him out of it and turn that hoe into a housewife. That's what y'all do. That's what happens all the time. Because I don't know why. Why do we all feel like we are just so special and so amazing? Why do we all feel like we're so special and so amazing that a person is going to change their entire life just because you are now in it? They're going to change their entire mindset just because you are now in it. Listen, like I said, some guys will marry you based on you what you provide him, but it doesn't mean that he wanted to be married. He wanted what you had to provide him. If I'm homeless and you're providing a bed, I'll marry you so I can have a bed. If I'm hungry and you got food, I'll marry you so I can get some food. That boy, what's his name? Esau. He sold his entire birthright because he was hungry. Listen, when we get desperate, we'll do some things. We'll do whatever it takes. You gotta. Here's the thing. I love what you said. Don't get married until you're done being single, and that's the truth. But the problem is that women a lot of times are not willing to either let go of or wait for that guy to be done being single. You go on a date with this fella, you like his vibe, you like what he can bring, you like this, that, and the third. All of a sudden, you refuse to let go of him, even though he doesn't want to be married. Listen, if you want to be married and the guy you're talking to doesn't want to be married, don't make him feel like he needs to marry you. Let him go. Because you're going to end up marrying a single person. And I know a lot of people end up in that situation. You end up marrying a single person. Because here's the thing. Here's the difference, right? We talk about men wanting to have sex, and we like sex. And as Darren said, the best. Listen, I gotta talk how I talk. Anyway, so yeah, so like Darren said, the best coochie is new coochie, one that you haven't had before. Um, but you have that individual who wants to experience other women. Here's the thing: if a guy is marriage minded, even though he wants to have that experience where he has other women, he will propose even while wanting to marry you, he'll propose a threesome situation. It's getting a little real, you know what I mean? And later it gets, the realer it gets. He'll propose a threesome situation if if he is marriage minded and still has the urge for other activities or other ladies or other flesh. And that's something that as a couple y'all discuss or whatever. I don't recommend it personally, but you know what? Y'all are grown. You figure it out, right? Um, but when you have a person who does not have a marriage mindset, they will marry you and still have other relationships going on all over the place. Now, those are two individuals with the same desire for other women or other flesh. But you have one person that deals with it in a way where you both are going to deal with this situation, and then one person who operates singularly. That's what being single means. You operate singularly. You means your thought process doesn't have to be run through another person. Your struggles are your own. You don't share your struggles. You don't share your wants. You don't share your desires. You don't share. You don't have to share none of that. All right. Somebody want to come and say something? Let me see. Oh, Antoinette, come talk to the folks. This is uh, this I want them to be jealous.
So I'm gonna pick up this whole baby thing, right?
I think you might. Can't hear you. Try one more time. Listen, good night once again for those of you just joining us. We're talking about why we can't fix men. Go ahead and share the video. We try to help. I'm trying to help, especially single ladies. We're trying to help. If you have something you want to say, you have a point of view that you want to share, feel free to hit that button, and I'll try to bring you on so we can have that conversation face to face. I'm here for all the smoke. All the smoke. I'm here for it. Yeah, Anthony, try again. Let me see if I can bring you on. Oh, it don't even give me a chance to bring you on. Okay. Yeah, it won't even let me try to bring you on. The request button is not, yeah, it's not letting me bring you on at all. Let's give it a little moment. We try to get you back on there. Yeah, so it's a lot of times, like I said, you're trying to fit this single guy into your marriage world, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. So, like I said, it's not that men don't need to be taught. We do need to be taught how to um, be in relationships. We do need to be taught. You say,
It's a it's a lie.
back in the day,
You can hear me now?
are you?
You can hear me?
Yeah, that's okay.
God, I ain't gonna say who talking junk, but somebody say you need a new phone.
It's true.
Okay,
It's
we
a you hear me now?
yeah, we hear you now.
Gonna leave my iPhone 8 alone, yeah?
I hey, good. We gonna start a GoFundMe.
So I'm in this pickle thing with this dating thing. And the reason is I'm afraid to date because most of these men, well, all of them, I feel pressured for sex all the time.
Mhm.
And it's one of those things where I don't want to sleep around with everybody. I'm not saying I won't if I'm not in a committed relationship and all of that, but it takes time to get to that place where you're in a committed relationship. And they don't really allow that process to happen without wanting to sleep with you. And you want to go out and have fun, but you're getting touched, you're getting, and you're like having to brush them off. And it's just really an uncomfortable thing. Why you look like that? Men want to touch me.
So what's the problem? With consent?
Not in the godly way. They want to touch you. Like,
You know, godly way. Why would you go on a date with somebody that didn't touch you?
right. Okay. So you let them get some feels and that's not enough for them.
Well, listen. Here's what I say. This is what I was. You let them know up front. Hey, listen. You know what? I'm feeling you, whatever the case is, but I don't really want to get into a sexual situation until I'm in some kind of committed situation. You know what I mean? We can hang out, we can talk, whatever the case is. And like I said, I would even say like kiss them if you want to kiss them. You know what I mean? But as far as the actual act of sex or sexual activity, whatever, that's something that you can let a guy know. And if he has solid intentions, then you know what I mean. He's generally like if he generally likes you, then he's gonna spend time with you.
Most times they don't believe you.
Well,
It's like
but,
they don't
but
believe
why?
you.
But why though?
I don't know.
You know
Maybe
why?
they feel like it's something. It's almost like a challenge for them. Like they think it's something to conquer now.
No,
When
because
you tell them,
9.9975 8 times out of 10 is BS. And a lot of times women say that kind of stuff because they feel like that's the stuff that's going to make us respect them. So they say that kind of crap and then turn out to be freaks. So now you have to suffer for that because you're being genuine about it. But most women, listen, let me tell you something. In my entire life, I'm almost 40. My next birthday, I'm 40 years old. I've never made the first move on a woman. And I've only dated, most of my dating was church girls.
hmm,
I've never made the first move in 40 years.
hmm.
Right? So, like I said, so how do I know that now you saying that? How do I know that that's a real thing? So you're going. There's a level of restraint and controlling that situation that you're going to have to exhibit that he may or may not be used to. But if he has good intentions, if he has solid intentions into establishing something with you, it's something that he will have to accept. Not necessarily that he wants to accept, but he has to accept. And it can't be a situation where, oh, you know what, I don't want to have any sexual activity, but this one time when I'm feeling really sexual, you can finger me.
Mm.
Because that just says, I don't, that just says you don't really mean what you say. It just means that I have to break down that wall. And once I break down that wall, then, that's the problem. It's not, it's not that you have a standard, is that, you just have a wall up right now. And if I break it down, then you're good to go, which is the case with most women.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
So how do you like? So talking to this guy, and it's you only talk to him for a few weeks, but the conversation is always like he's trying to talk about sex. No matter how much I try to stir it or you know, and this guy, he was married before, to a white girl, and it was pretty much like a special occasion type of thing they had. So now he is like realizing that he got married really young. Now he's like realizing there's more to sex. There's more to life. There's more to this. And I'm telling him like you should go explore that because I'm not looking to explore. I'm looking to settle down. Like
Yeah,
you're just
but see, even that though, Ned, like, what do you mean you're looking to settle down? Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
I want to get married. I'm not looking for a fling or to have fun. I think he should go have fun though. Like this is new for you. Like go do it.
well, the thing is, okay. So here's the thing. This a couple of things that ladies struggle with when it comes to sex. Number one, we're always going to steer the conversation towards sex. It's just how we're made. It's what we are interested in. You're not going to talk, unless you're out here talking about Marvel and DC and this new PS5. We don't talk about sex because that's what's interesting to us. That's something that we find, drives us. That's a conversation we like to have. A lot of times, and this will help you. Y'all talk about crap we don't care nothing about, and y'all expect us to engage in that conversation, but we don't care. We're not interested in that conversation.
But so what do you want us to talk about if we don't have Marvel, DC, and PlayStation?
That's the key. You got to find out what this droid is interested in, so you have a conversation about what he's interested in. Um, because like I said, it's here's the thing. What is a relationship? Relationship is me giving to you and you giving to me.
Mhm.
All right. Your job is to find out what makes me happy. My job is to find out what makes you happy.
Right.
Unfortunately, a lot of times we don't know that. So, but if you as a woman want to engage in meaningful conversation with an individual, you have to find out what is important to him, what is his, what's his motivation, what's really going on. Because a lot of times you're talking about things, like I said, that we don't care about, we don't find important, we don't think is relevant to us necessarily. And it's not something that is done maliciously. It's just something that we're naturally we talk about ourselves naturally, and we talk
Because
about
y'all selfish, self-centered.
but that's everybody. Everybody's favorite topic is themselves. Usually, 9 times out of 10, unless you have somebody who's introverted, then you know away from that conversation. But most of the young people, their conversation is themselves. So now you run into this young fella. You question is, what do you find interesting about him if you're talking to him for so many weeks?
Yeah, I would say his culture is pretty interesting because he's white. So
You say his culture is interesting. Okay,
yes, he's Jewish. I think there's a lot of stuff that I didn't realize about Jews that I'm learning. I mean,
okay. So and he talks to you about being Jewish.
yeah, and that he left the faith and all that stuff because of all the strict stuff, and yeah.
Okay. So then now once we had that conversation, now we need to talk about something that interests me. Because it doesn't interest me to talk about being Jewish. I'm having that conversation with you because
Well,
then.
we talk about our past marriages too, because we've both been married before.
Mm-hmm. No, but that's what I'm saying. So all that stuff. So it sounds like you had meaningful conversation, but you just don't like the fact that he goes talks about sex after that meaningful conversation.
Yes, because now I feel like okay, so you want to go out on a date, but I feel like you want to see me, now you want to go out on a date because you think you're gonna get some.
No, he wants to go out on a date because he thinks y'all had some kind of a connection. And what he knows, when there's a connection, there's usually sex that comes along with it. That's something. That's
Oh my God, the sex thing. Everybody's so sexually charged.
yes, because that's the culture in the world we live in. Don't get me wrong. I've been, I've been around the same kind of people my entire life. So when I moved and experienced different people, I didn't realize how bad it is. But both men and women, it's all about sex out here in these. So you got to understand, number one, what time you are dating in, because a lot of times we have romantic theories about how dating used to be versus how it is now,
I
and back
should have been born
then,
in the 1800s, man.
and do men still flowers and da da da. No, men don't flowers. Brought flowers in hair that he brought flowers, or she didn't care that he brought flowers. So now you don't get no flowers. This is just how it goes. Like I don't open doors for women when when we go out. Reason being because I'll be hustling trying to get over to the other side of the car and see her open the door, kick her foot out. I feel like kicking her in the stomach, telling her to go sit back down, slam the door shut, and then open it for her after that. But I can't do that. So I just don't bother trying to hustle to open the door no more. Back in my day, a woman would sit in the car until you can get her. But that's not the case no more. So I can't be mad that that's how it is now because that that's like them old people that's mad that music is what it is today.
Mm.
You can't be mad. It's just is what it is. You don't like mumble rap? Listen to the oldie stations. But if you're trying to be in this world right now, that's what you're gonna listen to. If you're trying to date in this world right now, then you got to understand sex is a very big part of it because men now. Here's the funny thing: women are more sexually liberated and they own their sexuality, and all that did was just have men sit there like,
Mm.
all it did. A sexual liberate. You ever, you ever, you ever see when they're feeding alligators? How they all just line up and then they wait for the meat to drop?
Mm.
That's what a sexually liberated woman is to us. Just meat we waiting to drop. Because we know your sexual liberation is going to make you give it up. And we going to take it every
But
time.
then how do I tell who has the good intentions or not if everybody's coming at me with sex? Because then they feel like that's all they want.
Like when Darren was on, I told you, having sex, not having sex does not make the want you or not want you. Every man is going to come at you with sexual intention. Every man. Old, young, medium, big, small. Every man is going to Julian, you stupid. Every man's gonna come into with sexual intention. It's just you, however, have to understand that you completely control that scenario. You don't control when you get into a relationship. He controls that, but you control the sexual side of things. But you
Mm-hmm.
have to be very clear on where you are with the sexual side of things and keep to that. Like I said, I've been in too many situations where girls tell me, "Oh, they don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do this," and you rub they kneecap one time, and all of a sudden they on top of you. You sitting there confused as hell. I thought we don't. Wait, I guess we do. You know what I mean? Like too many situations. So you have to understand, men are conditioned. Women condition men. Because our entire existence is surrounded around getting you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you are, in a general sense, of course, is what we become.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, going back to the fishing analogy, whatever kind of fish you are is the whatever kind of bait we bring.
Mm-hmm.
So collectively, like I said, women nowadays are more sexual. Women nowadays are willing to have sex on the first date. Women nowadays, but it does not affect your marriage ability. It does not affect your relation ability.
Right, which back in the back in the day in church, and they tell you if you have sex with a guy before marriage, he won't marry you. Remember that whole?
That was control tactic. That's a big control tactic because the truth is it is very good not to have sex with a person before you're married. It's the truth is it's good to stay a virgin until you're married because then you don't have to compare that person to that person and try to do this thing with that person. You kind of learn each other as you go, whatever the case is. But the fact of the matter is that you know what? Like I said, him having sex with you won't make him like you more, and him having sex with you won't make him like you less. He either likes you or he doesn't. He either wants to be in a relationship with you or he doesn't. The sex part of it, it means more to you as a female than it does to us,
Mm,
right? Your vagina is attached to your heart. Our penis is attached to nothing. It, it is just there doing what it does. And at the end of the day, it do what it does and it feels good. And once we are done feeling that feeling, once we have released, then if we like you, we want to hang around after we have released. And if we don't like you, we want to leave after we have released. And whether or not, the funny thing is, if we have not released, then that will make us put a little more extra time into into being around you because we're trying to release. But it don't mean we like you.
mm.
It just means that our thought process is being impeded by the extra levels of testosterone that is flowing through our bodies. But once that testosterone goes away, then funny enough, that's when you actually see whether he likes you or not.
Mm. So do you think like church girls, because of what we were taught, and especially if you're trying to wait for marriage and stuff, it's probably not then the best thing to date outside of um church or outside of
No, no, no.
someone with the same beliefs.
See, the problem, that's the problem. Church girls are ridiculously equipped to deal with life and to deal with men. Why? Because they haven't been around them in a relationship. You need to be in a relationship. You need to date. You need to be exposed to men and what men, other than your daddy, realize that all men are not good or bad. You need to date. But however, you make your purity. Once again, women control sex in a relationship.
Mm,
Women control the sex. Men control whether or not you get in a relationship. Women control sex. You
mm.
have that power. There is no insertion without a receptacle.
And
Mark,
I think men have to be willing to um men have like church girls, as you said, because we want to get married and we want that husband, and we don't want to date around or sleep around or whatever. Yes, when a guy's interested, we tend to, like my mom is saying, cling to them
mhm.
and try to make them
And
your husband.
that's the worst thing because you're trying to make him into your husband. It's not
Hmm.
to make a husband. God made the husband.
Hmm.
He took a rib and made you. Nowhere he said make this man a husband or fashion this man or influence this man into a husband. Church girls, especially, have to come out of that false and realize that if you are going to be found, you have to make yourself visible. Like we said, everybody want their Boaz, they want their Boaz, but they forgot. Like Ruth was kind of loose when she was trying to attract Boaz. She was intentional. Ruth
Hmm.
went where she knew he would be. Where? In the field. She knew he rode past in the field every day. So she went to the field and she was just pulling up wheat to the point where it caught her attention that she was just making stuff happen. Right? And then that wasn't enough. Then Ruth went into his bedchamber and laid at his feet.
Mm-hmm.
We forget that part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So she did things for him to notice her.
Mm-hmm.
Then he chose her.
Right.
A lot of church girls, especially, you're in your small church. They only got two men, and these two men are going through all of y'all because they know it's only two of them. You're trying to compete, so when you finally get his little attention, you feel you need to open your legs in order to get him, and you
Or
don't,
to keep him.
because he was never ready to be got, and it was never your job to get him.
So church girls need to learn to
Go to other church.
let go. Let go.
You need to learn to go to other churches.
Be willing to lose them. Be willing to lose
No,
them.
you gotta let him go.
Be willing to lose them if they ain't playing by the rules. I mean, be willing to lose them.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. And so here's the thing about taking a stand. When you take a stand, you have to be willing for it not to go your way. And I think a lot of people take a stand. Going, when the people rushed the Capitol building, a lot of,
Hmm.
they didn't think they was gonna get arrested,
Right.
right? But you can't rush into the situation and think that it's gonna automatically go your way. This is not a fairy tale. It's not. You're not going to be up in some tower and some prince is going to ride by and scale the tower, don't even know what you look like, to come marry you. You're not going to be locked up in a coffin and some prince going to ride by and kiss you to wake you up. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. When you see women who are married, even women who are married to like successful men, they were in a place where they were seen. They was in their little black dress, drinking their little cosmopolitan, and he saw her and he winked at him and he bought her a drink and she went over to his table after she bought him the drink. And that's how that started.
Mm-hmm.
Or, she was on the runway and he saw her and she smiled at him before she did the twirl. Or she was at this charity event and they met. Like, there's a story behind all these relationships. There's a story behind these marriages that includes you, actually doing something for that to happen. Esther dance her butt off that she became queen later. That's right. The king got to see you.
Hmm.
Oh, I want to be married, but you'll never leave your house. What are you waiting for
But
you?
don't
Wait,
you think also
can I-
that men are you're saying that men aren't gonna want to get married unless they know they can provide and all this stuff,
Hmm?
but these men are nowadays, y'all taking too long to get it together, man. By then our eggs all dried up. Now we gonna have Down syndrome babies waiting on y'all, like.
So what you see? Here's the thing. I feel like Kevin Samuels right now. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Some of you wait too long to decide that y'all want to get married.
Women don't wait long. We always know that we want to get married.
Is what I'm saying. No, no, no. Y'all be waiting. Here's what happens. I'm gonna tell you what happens. You get into relationships, you get married. Maybe, and some of you don't get married, but you have a baby, and you put all your time, energy, and effort into raising that said baby. And then after a while, you get a little bit older. Now you want a companion, and then now you want a companion, and your pickings are slim because you are when your husband search. Most ladies, your husband search really should begin in your 20s when you don't have no babies. The
Yeah, but in your 20s, the men that are ready to get married are 40 and up.
no,
I
no,
mean, those are the ones that got their stuff together.
young men in their 20s, they want to get married.
But they ain't got their stuff together normally in their 20s.
But at that point, you need to be willing to work with a brother. See, at that point, he's willing to work because here's the thing. Like I said, there you got to understand that in order for a man to date you now, right?
Mhm.
He would have to be in a mindset that you know what, I'm going to take on a woman, number one, who is grown. Grown women require different things than young women.
Mhm.
When you were in your 20s, right or wrong, I could take you to IHOP on a date, right?
Mhm.
Now I can't do that. You look
Mhm.
at me crazy.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
When
We're
you're
going to shoot us.
when you're in your 20s, when you're in your 20s, your requirement is different than when you're in your 30s and your 40s. So
Mhm.
therefore, the man we need to be in our 20s is going to be different than the man we need to be in our 30s and our 40s. Like
Mhm.
as he says, grown women require lots of money. Why? Because you have done for yourself already, and you're not going to allow me to do less for you than you have done for yourself.
Right.
If by the time you get to in your 30s, you're used to eating at Ruth's Chris, you won't even let me take you to Longhorn.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So when
Mom said they need, you have to pay for nips and tucks.
so for instance, let's take Darren for instance. Darren got married in his 20s. When he was in his 20s, uh, because he was in his 20s, he was able to. All he needed to be was stable.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? Now he crossed over in his 30s. He has to now. He feels, you know, he feels the pressure to be able to provide whatever his wife and children need.
Mhm.
So to go from a place where you just need to be stable, what is stability? A job where you're making around 20 something dollars an hour. You're able to pay the bills. You're able to, take
Car.
a week vacation per day, per week, per year. You're able middle class living,
Mhm.
middle low to middle class, lower
Mhm.
middle to middle class living is stability, and that's something that you have to have. That's something that you feel the need you need to have in your late 20s going into your 30s.
Mhm.
That's where you feel you need to be. But in your 20s, you just need to have a dream and somebody who's willing to support that dream.
Mhm.
It's different. There's different requirements the older you get for both. So the requirement for you as a woman is going to be different the older you get, and what I feel the man I need to be is going to be different because right now, going into my 40s, I feel like just being able to have um, stability is not enough. If I'm going to get married, I need to provide a certain kind of lifestyle for the woman that I marry.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
But why y'all gotta wait till 40 to feel like that though? You know what I'm saying? Why y'all gotta wait till 40?
No, sometimes they feel that way in their 30s as well. But like I said, it's just different stages of life. When you're in your 20s, you're still dreaming. You still want to be something. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Y'all still getting to know yourselves, is what you're
Yeah, you're
saying.
still getting to know yourself. You're in college. Yeah, I mean, your early 20s, you're in college, you have the whole world ahead of you. You know what I mean? Even when you get out of college, your career that you're working on, you got to start at the bottom, and it takes time to move up. Nobody starts making six figures in their 20s.
Well, now you can, but
Well, I mean,
mm,
that once again, exceptions to rules, but overall, nobody, you don't start making six figures till your mid 30s.
mhm.
Mid 30s going into your 40s. You get what I'm saying? But here's the thing that's the kind of thing that women your age want. You don't want the guy that's making 36,000 a year. He looks,
No. What we gonna do with that?
but that's what I'm saying. It's like so the requirement is different. It just really is. You know what I mean? And then sometimes women,
Right, Jules.
men have all the excuses. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. There's a difference. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. And it's, you know what it is? It's real. It's truth. At the end of the day, whatever my reality is my reality. Whether you think it's right, whether you think it's an excuse, whether you think it should be that way, whatever my reality is, that's my reality.
So why then can't y'all understand that, all right, you guys are not financially ready, but you guys want a woman that has her emotions together, have all of this together. Why can't we have, we're getting to know ourselves too.
Yeah, but all that stuff doesn't compute to us.
So we don't have no time to get to know ourselves. We should just show up ready to be the perfect wife.
You mean not get to know yourself? Like, how much time do you need to know that you need to not be manly in a relationship?
But
Yeah,
maybe what you consider being manly, we don't consider being manly.
yeah. See, that, and that's the problem. Y'all be out here with y'all masculine energy, trying to be in a relationship with a dude. Yeah, see, I like high up in king crab legs. See, that's your problem. See, right there, king crab legs. You know how expensive king crab legs
What?
is? But you like IHOP and king crab legs. That's a lot of money. Anyways, what I was saying. Here's the thing. It's not. You got to understand. Like most of your issues, if you will, like you know, your attitude, your sassiness, your this and your that. Most of that is not a problem until you turn it this way. So it's not a matter of we don't want you to have it. We just don't want you to turn it this way.
But most of the time, our attitude is because you guys are immature too, and y'all aren't doing what y'all supposed
Well,
to do. So
shouldn't
we
have,
respond to y'all.
you shouldn't have been with him if you thought it was immature.
But you guys are saying you guys don't really mature till the late 30s. So then I'm in my 20s. What I should do? You're in your 20s. We're both immature, but your immaturity is okay and mine isn't.
See, that's the thing. I don't think it's a matter of whether it's okay or not. It's a matter of is and isn't. So once again, like I said, your immaturity, while I am immature, your immaturity is not really a big issue. Like when I was in my 20s, someone I you saw my relationship that I had in my early 20s. We'd argue and fuss every day, and it was entertaining to me. It was fine because I was in my 20s, stupid. So, yeah, you were there for all of it. Y'all know if you saw me and homegirl, you know we was gonna fuss. And that's what we did in our 20s, because it was our 20s, and that's the stupid stuff we do, and whatever the
Mhm.
case is. But after we finish fuss, I drop her home. Hey, you know what I'm talking about. So usually when you're in an immature relationship, both of y'all are immature. You have little issues and little stupid arguments or whatever, but y'all still riding for each other. Not not really a case where your immaturity is not okay, but mine is. We both immature, so we don't even know what maturity really looks like or what it's supposed to be. So we can't be mad at it if we don't know what it looks like. You get what I'm saying? But when I get to a certain age, I can't. I don't want to deal with that no more. You know what I mean? There has to come a point, especially when you run into your 30s, where you have to understand that this is a gun and shouldn't be pointed at the person that you're supposed to be in a relationship with. You know what I mean? Especially when you're about to hit 40. I ain't got time for none of it.
So you're finding women in their late 30s that are doing that?
Of course, because women feel like that's what they need to do.
Hmm.
Because they don't, and once again, and what happens is, and this is a crazy thing. Here's the cycle. What happens is that you, you get into a relationship. The relationship doesn't work because y'all are immature. Okay, fine. Now you take a little break because you so hurt from that relationship. You decide you're not gonna date no more. And then now when you finally do date, you're only dating to get married. So so that's a whole nother hindrance that you put on yourself that you don't even realize. It's a hindrance to you. It's not
Mm.
an asset. It's not something that helps you to get into a relationship. No, it doesn't. It just put a hindrance on you and limits who you can actually have interaction with, learn and grow from. But in any case, so now you take a break. You're working on yourself, you're working on your career, where you're making your money, you're raising your children, whatever the case is. Now you come and you are older, and while you were while, after that relationship, you realize, I have to take care of myself. And in order to take care of yourself, you have to be aggressive. In order to take care of yourself, you got to give attitude. In order to take care of yourself, you have to put up walls to protect your little feelings because you don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want to be a pushover. You don't want people to take advantage of you. You don't want people to try you. So you have all this attitude and thing that has worked for you for this long. Now you come into a relationship with a guy like me who really I want to chill. I want to have a good time. I want to travel. I don't want to fuss with you. I ain't got time for it. I really don't. But now you can't turn it off.
Mm.
And that's why a relationship now will not work because you find it so difficult to turn off your survival mechanism that you have been living with for however long. You know
Mm.
what I mean? It's kind of like if you live outside and you develop certain types of skills to survive outside, someone puts you in a house, you don't just turn that off. You still gonna be trying to shower out when the rain comes. You know what I mean? Like you want to be able to do it when rain falls, right? That stuff is still gonna be, what I mean. You're still gonna try to light wood fire even though there's a stove. You know what I mean? And that situation, we think we can turn it off, but a lot of times we can't. And a lot of guys, once you get to a certain place in life, you don't really have the patience for all that sad, that attitude.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's really what it is. And then now, especially when that sass attitude is coming with debt or coming with a bill. You know what I'm saying? Like it it makes it difficult, and that's the reason why a lot of women find it difficult to get in a relationship because then now you want somebody who's going to accept all that sass, all that attitude, because you cook and clean, or because you apparently you have gold in between your legs or something. You know what I mean? Like, and these are silly reasons why women feel like men should accept everything they bring, and it doesn't
Mm.
work that way. It really doesn't. You know what I mean? Um, there are things that make a big difference in the thought process of a man that you don't think maybe you don't think you should. Like I remember talking to somebody and I was talking about the whole red bottoms, right? And they were like, "Oh, I'll buy my own red bottoms. He don't have to buy red bottoms for me." Of course, he doesn't have to, but his mind, he has to be on that level to deal with you. You get what I'm saying? Um,
Right, 'cause then he gonna bring you some DSWs. He's
okay,
gonna be like, I want to buy her some shoes. Like, I can only afford these DSWs or these Steve Maddens, but I
yeah,
wonder if she gonna like it.
exactly. Because then now he's competing with who you used to be. So especially women who are getting older, you got to figure out how to kind of buffer that a little bit. You know what I mean? Not stop being
Because we can't ask them to dumb themselves down,
no,
to be
not
a man either.
yourself down, but it's about managing who you are. You get what I'm saying? And the things that are important, you highlight that. The things that are not important, you kind of draw that back a little.
Mm.
Because your job in any relationship is to make a man feel like a man.
Mm.
The other side of your job is to try not to do anything to make him feel less than a
And most women who do wear red bottoms want a man that can buy red bottoms.
They do, yeah. But apparently, but see, the problem is that you're wearing red bottoms, but you forget that you also have children. You forget that you also, because a lot of times men who can afford red bottom, they don't want those responsibilities. Because by the time
Mm,
they can afford a red bottom, by the time they can afford a red bottom, if they do have children, their children are grown.
mm.
If I can
So
afford
you feel like
red,
the more, like the man was saying, that what's his name, Kevin Samuels was saying, it's like you're in your 30s, you have kids, you're overweight, like you have all these things going against you, right? But you want a certain type of man.
mhm.
So I do think that women should try to match the man that they want, and whatever man they want to attract, they should do whatever they need to do to attract those kind of men.
Yeah,
Of course, if you have kids, there's nothing you can do about it. But normally, men who are successful want a woman that is going to be a helpmeet,
avail
and she can't help you if she don't know nothing, you know. So at least be educated, read, stuff like that.
and to be clear, being educated doesn't necessarily mean to have a college degree. Being educated
Right, just
to
read.
stuff out of your house.
Right.
Yeah, read, experience other things because, like, when you get, what I mean, when you get to a certain place in life, you want to try, you want to, you want to pick up and go, and so on and so forth. So you have to understand, like, the hindrances to those things. You know what I mean? Like your career could hinder your relationship because you have your responsibilities of your career where you're not available to him like he would need you to be. So a lot of times, like I said, women want men that match them, but you don't understand. Sometimes that matching clashes.
Mm.
Sometimes that matching clashes, and the thing is, what you value versus what we value are two different.
Mm.
I don't care nothing about your degree. We don't care
Mm.
nothing about the car you drive. Like we want to be the ones that drive the car, that attract you because of cars. You know what I mean? Like it's so like I said, the whole thing about fixing men and teaching men this, that, and the third, like it's cool and it's good, and I do think that more men need to have an understanding of what it takes to be married. But overall, um, yeah, but overall, like there are more women than men, and women are willing to accept more, willing to accept way more than you know. But if all I want is this time, why is that hard? Not all this
Oh,
time,
let me get off so someone else can come on if they want.
not all this time. I'm reading Kiel's thing here, but all I want is time. Why is that hard? Not all this time, but any time, just us. Why is that hard? Um, well, uh, people who got stuff going on, they ain't got that. They ain't got all that kind of time. People who out here grinding ain't got that kind of time. You wanted all your time. But then once again, if you want time, what is he getting for that time? Is it interesting spending that time with you? Is it something where, you know what I mean? If you find a guy that wants to be around you, if you find a guy that wants to be with you, you won't have to ask him for time. He'll give you time. The reason why you would not get time from a guy is because he doesn't want to be around you. He don't want to give you time. So let's thank Internet. Thank you, Internet, for coming on, sharing your thought process, asking your questions. I appreciate it. Anybody else want to come on and say something? Just hit the request. I'll bring you on. Julian says this is hard. I'm gonna be like a dollar bill for real. For real. No, No, but Julian, you don't have to be like a dollar bill. I think, especially for a woman such as yourself, there are many individuals who are lining up to be a suitor. The problem, and this is a problem with a lot of women, is that who you want is not who's coming after you. That is the problem. Who you want is not who's coming after you. So what do you do? I think you got to reevaluate what you want or who you want. I think you got to reevaluate that because, once again, different men want different things. Whatever a man wants, he will move heaven and earth. You say, how do you attract who you want? The only way to attract who you want is to be who he wants. That's that's really the only way. There's no other way to attract who you want unless you are who he wants. And then you can only attract who you want if they want to be attracted to, if that makes sense. That's why I said we have to do our part to attract who we want. I mean, if you're talking about the type of man, yeah. So if it's a certain type of man that you're trying to attract, you have to once again attract them based on what you have. Like Anthony said, yeah, you're right. Men of a certain affluence, men of a certain stature, they want arm candy. So if you're trying to attract a man with a certain amount that makes a certain amount of money, that has a certain amount of affluence or stature, then you have to be arm candy. So if you're overweight, then you got to lose all the weight. If you're a size 22, then you got to get down to a size 2, 3, 2, 4, or however they size that thing. You know what I mean? Or give up that dream. It's really what it is. You know what I mean? If you are trying to attract a rapper, then go ahead and go down to Dominican Republic and get that surgery. You know what I mean? And get the big butt and the boo job, and you will attract a rapper or or a black guy with money. There's a difference between a rich guy and a guy with money. Two different things. So you know what I mean? If you are trying, because I mean I work hard all the time. It's just we time, mental, physical, getting away from stress. You in that we time, like once again, whoever want to spend time with you will spend time with you. That's just how that works. If they don't want to spend time with you, they don't, because they don't want to spend time with you. That's really what it is. If you're dating somebody and you got to ask them for time, they're really not that into you. All right? If you're dating somebody straight up and down, if you're dating somebody and you got to ask them to spend time with you, they don't like you. They're not that into you. And see, that's the thing. A lot of times y'all are dating people that don't like you and don't realize it because you think they're dating you, so they must like you. No, they cannot like you. Once again, we don't have to like you to sleep with you. We don't have to like you to hang out with you. We don't have to like you. We don't. So if you got to ask for a time, he don't like you. Straight up and down. Just had a few today, can't even sit. Yeah, because they're trying to attract a certain kind of man. I was talking to a friend of mine, and my friend was saying, "Oh, well, I be pulling guys. Attracting a guy is easy. That's the easiest thing in the world. Attracting a guy, just any random guy, just a kind of guy, is simple. It's easy. Anthony, you've been out the memory lane. You ain't got to be a supermodel to attract a guy. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a supermodel to attract a guy. Attracting a guy is easy. It is simple. It's the easiest thing in the world to attract a guy, or to, yeah. But it's to be able to establish something meaningful with a fella. Now that takes work. That takes time. That takes effort. Your pretty looks ain't gonna keep him. Yeah, but still, even that, but still, kid, like, yeah, what is he getting for with his time with you? Is he enjoying himself? Does he enjoy that we time that you're talking about? And like I said, if he's not into you, then he's not going to enjoy the we time. It's just really what it is. So, just that these little men love me out there. Yeah, because once again, attracting a man is easy. It's the keeping and even getting to the wedding that is the difficult part. So, once again, I agree that men need to be taught. I agree that men need to be taught more about what it takes to be a husband and a good husband, but you cannot make a man want to be a husband before he's ready to be a husband. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how many times you do it, how many times you say it, um, you can't fix him if he's not ready. If he doesn't feel ready within himself, ain't nothing you can do about it. So, what are your options, ladies? Here is your option. Option number one: if you are young enough, find someone with some potential, with some drive that you can build with. If you are not young enough, then you have to date until you find a connection with somebody that is willing to deal with whatever it is that you are bringing to the situation. And if you're old, then you know what? Make sure that you get with somebody, you try to, you get with somebody who is done with the foolishness. Or you can buy some cats, get you a couple dogs, stay single until you die. But once again, we can't, don't give these little girls advice, and don't try to raise these boys in your single bitterness. That's how we end up with messed up young men and messed up young women. The single bitterness. Stay out of that. All right. So, I think next time we'll dive more into. Yeah, people always say that that's just because they can't get in a relationship. Team single. You ain't team single unless you should be in like 3 relationships and you decide not to be. It's the only way you get to join team single. She said she want to get married 3 more times. Oh Jesus. 3 more? Oh man. Oh, man. So yeah, so next time we're gonna talk about, the effects of your career and success on your marketability. All right, we'll talk about that, and dive more into, just the aspect of where where men are when it comes to careers and achievements and so on and so forth. We'll talk about that as we go along. Um, Listen, do me a favor, share this video, um, hit the like button a couple more times, and also turn on the notifications so you know when we're on, so we can have a good conversation. If there's any particular topic, or if there's any particular topic that you would like to talk about, that you would like me to address, please Just put it in the comments or better yet, inbox particular topic and we will talk about it. All right. Y'all know I'm going to give it to y'all real. I'm going to give it to you real. I'm going to give it to you raw. That's what we do. We'll just give it to you 100% honest. And from a man's point of view, of course. All right. So I appreciate y'all joining me. I love y'all. Julian, Antoinette, Kiel, Marcia. I don't know if Jackie's still on here. We may have, or is it JC? I don't know how to pronounce. I'm not sure how to pronounce it properly. But all of you that joined us tonight, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you, Antoinette, for coming on. Thank Darren for joining us earlier on as well. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Bye bye.